that they, for whatever reason, and I say whatever reason, but the reason is false teachers, they were able to separate that initial response of faith alone, in Christ alone, by grace alone. That initial experience was separated from daily Christ likeness, walking with Christ, that tragically, in many cases, translated eventually into giving up of their faith, into people who tragically practiced apostasy, tragically deserted the gospel, and went and did things differently from the person and the character of Jesus. And the issue for people when we, as Christians, deviate from the gospel. Now, listen to me for a second. The issue of gospel deviation, many times, or most of the time, is not that we deviated, although it is a problem. But the issue is when either you don't know that you deviated, is when you get to the place that you don't care that you deviated, and you make sin habitual, or unconfessed sin habitual. If you and I become habitual practices of the things that bring grief to the heart of Jesus, if you and I have no remorse and we have no problem sinning habitually, practicing unconfessed sin, I'm going to argue that you are tampering with your salvation. You're tampering with understanding who you are in Christ and why you are who Jesus says you are in Christ. I'm not saying that you're losing your salvation. All that I'm saying, again, just think with me for a second. The beauty of following Jesus is that we don't get to define what the life or the moving forward looks like. That's why, now listen to me for a second. That's why Jesus could have not simply be born on Thursday, die on Friday, and then simply resurrect on Sunday. Jesus could have not been a weekend experience. He not only had to die for us, he had to live for us, because the life that he lived is precisely the life that we're called to live after the initial experience.